Well, and I love Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum, and
Yes.
Zion Williamson. I love that trio.
Yep.
And I think they definitely are sleepers in the Western Conference. I know I may surprise you with this one, Wilton. At some point, Kawhi and Paul George got to pull through, don't they? I mean, at some point, the Clippers got to get to the finals and finally win a championship for the Clippers organization. I mean, don't it feel as if at some point it's going to happen?
On paper, it sounds great.
Agreed.
It looks great.
Yeah.
But I mean, until all of them can be on the court, it's almost kind of like, and I know this may not exactly look like this, but think about all the times, and I'm one included, that we thought the Nets would bounce back with all the injuries, whether it was when James Harden was still there, Kyrie was in, James Harden was in, Kevin Durant was in, Kyrie and Irving were out. Like, that's a team that I feel like until everybody is on the court at one time healthy, 1 through 5, we won't ever really truly see what they're capable of.
I agree. I agree, man. I 1,000% agree with you. Who was your early season NBA MVP?
I think I would have to go with Tatum. That's somebody that I have seen and watch continue to elevate right in front of me. You know, again, he was elite when during those years when he battled against LeBron, when he went to the level of success that he had in the bubble. And then last year, like, I can remember telling myself when Boston made it to the finals, or even just when they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, I said, at some point, based off what we've seen from Jayson Tatum, there's going to be some type of fall off. That's not to say he's not a great player, because he's an elite player, very elite. But I feel like there's going to be some type of fall off. And he didn't fall off. I feel like every time I thought he was going to fall off, he continued to elevate. And I really hope that that's a trajectory that we're seeing, that here's a star literally between him and Luka Doncic. I mean, oh my gosh. Like that would be my second person to be MVP, for MVP status.
Agreed. And I feel like this year, Wilton, Tatum is playing with the chip on his shoulder, because you remember last year in the NBA Finals, he got outplayed by Andrew Wiggins. Let's call it what it is. He got outplayed, and it's almost as if he's sending a message. Let me remind everybody who the hell I am. I still am one of the star players in the NBA, and I'm trying to position myself to get my team to an NBA Finals, and this time we ain't gonna come up short. That's kind of like the message that I'm getting from Tatum.
Right, and I like that about Tatum. I like players that play with that grittiness. You know, I like players that have that chip on their shoulder that says, you know what, I have to come out here and prove it every night, night in, night out, that I'm the best player on the planet, or one of the best players on the planet. It's also one reason why I like a team like the Grizzlies, Ja Morant. I love the way, even though some people say, he's going to have to change and adjust his game in the NBA because he's fragile or whatever, but I love the way that he plays. I like the way that team plays. And so when you're somebody like Jayson Tatum, that's someone that I just truly love the way that he plays the game of basketball.
He's a sports writer at Sports Illustrated, also host of the Red Diamond Report podcast. He is Wilton Jackson II. A couple more questions for you, when I'm going to let you go. Who do you believe is the greatest player of all time? Are you an MJ guy? Or are you a LeBron guy? I mean, who do you believe is the GOAT in the NBA, man? Who do you got? It's tough.
Yes, indeed. That's the toughest of all questions tonight. You say the best for last. The greatest player that I feel like I've watched closely, to me, greatest player that I've watched closely would probably be Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Hands down. Like the greatest player that I've watched. Even, like I said, I'm only 29 years old. So clearly he was playing way before I was alive, of sure. I mean, in some years. And so it's just like, but even going back to watch tape, because I often go back and watch these older players who played, like, the Michael Jordans, the Elgin Baylors, the Wilt Chamberlains, all these players, Oscar Robertson, like these great players. It's just that in my mind, it's just hard to go against Michael Jordan. It is. Yeah. And even thinking about where Kobe sits in that, I look back at like Kobe film and really understand and realize like he truly emulated his game from Michael.
He did.
Every piece of the game he emulated from Michael.
He did. And honestly, Wilton, when I started understanding basketball, to me, Kobe was my GOAT. God rest his soul.
Oh, absolutely.
The Black Mamba was a 5-time champion, 2-time Finals MVP. He won an NBA MVP in 2008. I believe that Kobe, you can make an argument that Kobe, this may sound crazy to some people, you can make an argument that Kobe was better than MJ. I've seen Kobe hit tougher shots than Jordan. I'm not saying he's better, but you can make an argument. And I think, Kobe got to the final 7 times. He got there 7 times. Now, he lost twice, but he got there 7 times. And, I like them both. I love LeBron. I'm gonna give LeBron his respect.
For sure.
But those are my 3, though, Will. My 3 are Kobe, MJ, LeBron. Best 3 players of all time to me.
I think the greatest athlete that we've ever seen, literally, well, for me, in my opinion, I think LeBron for sure has to be there. You talk about a player that's been able to play as long as he has at the level as he has. Like, I think about the way we saw Kobe go out in 2016.
Yeah.
He could still shoot the ball. He was on pretty much one leg in the process, but he went out. He didn't necessarily go out at the top, but he was still in our eyes, he was Kobe Bryant.
Right.
Michael Jordan. I always think about the move that Allen Iverson put on him.
Yeah.
Before he went out the league, right? But you're looking at LeBron almost 40 years old. Like when I go to play pickup games, there's dudes in there that might be 35 and 40 years old that can't move like him.
Yeah.
This dude is moving as if he's like 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
With ease.
Man.
Might be playing with his son.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I agree with that. That's one thing I give LeBron credit for. I always say, I don't think he's the GOAT. I don't think he's better than Jordan or Kobe, but I think LeBron, his longevity is something that Kobe and Jordan wasn't able to do. They were great, but they didn't do it at an elite level as long as LeBron James did. I always say that and give LeBron, his flowers for that specifically.
For sure.
One more question for you, though, before you get out of here, Wilton. We got Deion Sanders. Everybody, yeah, I got to go there. Everybody, and I'm going to be specific here. Everybody in our community, they've been talking about Deion Sanders. Everybody got different opinions on Deion Sanders. He agreed to become the head coach at Colorado. He went 26-5 in 3 seasons at Jackson State. What is your opinion about the Deion Sanders situation? And do you believe that he did a great job in Jackson State in his 3 seasons while he was there?
This is a very answer that's divided in like 2 or 3 different ways. But to answer your question specifically, did he do a good job in the 3 years that he was there? Absolutely. He did things that no other coach in JSU history has ever done. So that's in a whole basket by itself. There's never been an undefeated season in Jackson State football history. The last time Jackson State won back-to-back SWAC championships was in 1995 and 1996. Let that really, really sit in.
Yeah.
Before he got there, this was a team that was dormant, that had not had a winning season since 2013. So what he was able to do in 3 short years, and oh, by the way, his first season, that spring 2021 season, that accounts for the fall 20 season due to COVID, they had a winning season then. And those were players that he had not even brought in yet, per se. So he didn't really get his real teams at the court until fall 2021 and this season here. So what he was able to do, it's unquestionable. Like, you can't take anything away from what he was able to do. If he's not here, we may not have that success, or Jackson State may not have that success. And I say we because I'm from Jackson. So to see that he was able to do that in a short matter of time, I think he's good on that part. I will say this. He did not necessarily have to come in when he took the job in September 2020 saying that, God sent him here and, I want to be able to change the landscape of, HBCUs, get players from the NFL, from HBCUs to be able to create a pathway from HBCUs to the NFL. So did you do that? You helped out. You definitely did. You got James Houston into the league. You got some other players, some other players, some looks in terms of getting potential free agent deals and really playing professionally. So he did that per se. But I can tell you right now, to the average fan, Jackson State fan, to the average HBCU fan, they feel disrespected. And to them, they in such a way, when you listen to them talk, some of it is just based off of emotion, but then some of it makes some semblance of sense too, though, because it's like, had he just said, hey, I'm coming into this program at Jackson State University, and I'm going to make sure that Jackson State wins back-to-back championships, or they continuously win championships, and we're going to get players to the league. Had he said that, check mark.
Yeah.
Checkmate. Everything's good. You did exactly what you said. But there is a sentiment and emotion and a feeling that comes with students, alums, fans of HBCUs, that when you tell them something, when you tell them that you're going to be motivated, dedicated, determined to do the job, knowing that HBCUs obviously have been known to not have the same resources as Power 5 programs, and really just other institutions in general, you have to stand to that. When you tell them that you're going to do that, they expected that. And they also expected it to be longer than 3 years.
Yeah. And I understand. This is one of those, before you go, Wilton, this is one of those, I understand both sides. Right. I understand why there are people that are frustrated with Deion for leaving after 3 years. But I also understand the people that are saying, hey, life is about advancing. Life is about elevating. So
he would have been wrong to not take the opportunity.
Right. But this is the thing, though, too. This is what I thought was crazy. I thought, not crazy, but I kind of was like, really, Colorado? And to me, Wilton, I felt like if you go to Florida State, that's where you played at in college. I get it. But Colorado was 1-11 last year. It was 1-11, or this year. They was 1-11. I wasn't feeling Colorado. I wasn't.
Well, think about it like this. Two things. One, he came to a Jackson State program that wasn't a winning team at the time. Now, great history of winning. You know, obviously 4 Hall of Famers in the NFL from Jackson State alone, not even just talking about HBCUs, but just from Jackson State alone. So there's a tradition for winning at Jackson State. But him taking that opportunity to go to Colorado, one thing that I can say that I've realized about Coach Prime is that he loves a challenge, same way he was in the NFL. Yeah. And so when you look at it from that lens, Colorado is a challenge. And I can truly say there are other programs, even before he got accepted or given the opportunity at Jackson State, that he wanted to be at, but he didn't get it. And Jackson State gave him that opportunity. So now it's like Jackson State gave him the opportunity to become a coach. Well, now it's like, okay, well, you've been a coach for 3 seasons. We will really get a chance to see how well you can coach, because now you're not at an HBCU anymore. You're not necessarily, at a, how can I say this, more of a lower tiered program. You're at a Power 5 program, and they're expecting you to win right now, just like Jackson State fans were expecting you to win right now. But the difference is your name is Deion Sanders. You're going to get those same players based off of your name that's going to come to your program. But here's the thing. You still got, for now, you still have the USCs that's going to get those same players. Yeah. The UCLAs that's going to get those same players. Arizona State, Washington, Oregon. Like, these other teams are going to be just as dominant as you are.
Yeah. Agree. And I mean, I get it. Like I said, 26-5 in 3 years. They went 11-0. That's the first regular season where they went undefeated. He won the 2021 Eddie Robinson Award. And I think he had like a sponsorship with Pepsi as well.
He had a ton of sponsorships.
He had a bunch of them. And then I think he had a good relationship with American Airlines as well. So they were traveling real well. So like I said, I think sports a lot. We debate, and sometimes we want to pick a side. This is one where I truly understand both sides. I get both sides of the spectrum. Well, Wilton, let everybody know where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Twitter at Wilton Reports, and on Instagram at Wilton Reports _, Facebook Wilton Jackson. And yeah, man, like, I'm really glad that you brought me on to your platform and giving me an opportunity to come onto your podcast. I really, really enjoyed this. We have to do it again.
We got to do it again for sure, Wilton. I enjoyed this as well. He's a sports writer at Sports Illustrated, host of the Red Diamond Report podcast. He is Wilton Jackson II. Thank you for joining me tonight, Wilton.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.